Hello and welcome to Parents Guide to Games. Before we get started, if you could please subscribe. Here are the games come week of October 27th, 2020. And the first game on today's list is Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4. This is coming on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch. The rating is teen. The content descriptions are blood, fantasy violence, language, simulated gambling, suggestive themes, use of alcohol and tobacco. This is a role-playing game in which players follow a group of heroes as they attempt to stop a war. Players explore various environments and engage in battles against human soldiers and fantasy creatures. Players use swords, axes, firearms, and magic to defeat enemies. Slashing sounds, light effects, and explosions highlight a turn-based combat. One character's special attack depicts large blood splatter effects as several spin and attack enemies. The game contains some suggestive material, dialogue, and prolonged sequences in which a woman gropes another character's chest. As the players progress, they can visit a casino to play and bet on games of poker and blackjack. A handful of sequences depict a character drinking alcohol and smoking cigars. In one sequence involving a drinking contest, swear words are heard in the dialogue. And the next game on today's list is Watch Dogs Legion. This is coming on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Google Stadia, and PC. The rating is mature. The content descriptions, blood and gore, drug references, intense violence, sexual themes, strong language, and use of alcohol. This is an action-adventure game set in a futuristic London during an upheaval following a terrorist bombing. Players control a member of a hacker group intent on resisting malevolent powers through a variety of means, including violence. From a third-person perspective, players explore open-world environments while hacking electronic devices, using stealth to infiltrate and obtain information, and engaging in combat with enemies. Players use melee weapons and firearms to kill enemies. Combat can be frantic and highlighted by realistic gunfire, slow motion effects, cries of pain, and blood splatter. Cutscenes depict further instances of violence, a man shot in the head, a crime lord beaten to death by several people, a character stabbed in the neck with a scalpel. During the course of the game, players can encounter a human organ harvesting operation where corpses are depicted lying on tables amid blood-stained rags, surgical instruments, and severed hands and feet. The game contains some sexual material, red light districts with sex shops advertising nude dancers and sex toys, missions and storylines referencing prostitution. As players explore the open world, their characters can drink alcoholic beverages, causing the screen to distort and the characters eventually pass out. Some missions involve drugs and drug running, or have players navigating locations that depict drug packaging, scales, and other paraphernalia. Swear words appear in the dialogue. And on a happier note of games, there is Pikmin 3 Deluxe. This is coming on Nintendo Switch. The rating is everyone 10 and up. The content descriptions, mild cartoon violence. This is a strategy game in which players use tiny alien creatures called Pikmin to perform tasks around a fantasy planet. Tasks generally involve removing obstacles, bridging gaps, or fetching fruit for other players' spaceships. Players sometimes encounter insect-like aliens that attack. Pikmin can attack creatures by slamming or latching on and whacking them with their butts. Occasional boss fights require more prolonged battles with larger creatures. And the last game on today's list is the Dark Pictures Anthology Little Hope. This is coming on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. The rating is mature. The content descriptions are blood, intense violence, and strong language. This is a survival horror game in which players help a group of college students and their teacher escape an isolated town. Players explore interactive environments and choose various actions decision paths via on-screen prompts. Some choices lead to depiction of intense violence, a woman shot in the neck, a girl burned to death in a house fire, a man shot in the head, a woman accidentally hanged to death, a man stabbed through the eye with a close-up of the gouged eye. Large blood splatter effect and pools are depicted as characters are injured and or killed. Swear words are heard in the game. Big shout out to bensound.com for the music. Please follow Parents Guide to Games on Facebook at Parents Guide to Games, on Twitter at ParentsG2G, and email any questions or comments to parentsg2g@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.